Hello, is this Jennifer?
Hi, yes it is.
Hello, darling. This is Psychic Mike. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you for asking. I hope I caught you at a good time.
You did. Perfect timing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Jennifer, before we get kind of started with everything, I really want to thank you for allowing me to do this. For those people listening in the audience, I am Psychic Mike, and this is Jennifer, and she has agreed to be part of a 10-minute brief reading for all of you to view as a sample if you're considering having a psychic reading. So, Jennifer, I'm going to remind you of two things just kind of legally before we get started. For one, this is going to be recorded, and it is going to be used on social media. It's going to be put on YouTube. And for another, I've got to ask you to keep in mind psychic readings are for entertainment purposes only, and so you should completely indemnify and hold harmless me, my agents, my heirs, and my assignees in perpetuity. That's just kind of the legal stuff. Make sense, Jennifer?
Yeah, makes sense.
Awesome. All right, so let's hop into things. Typically, love, when people show interest in a psychic reading, it's because they want to know about kind of one subject in particular. What would you say that subject really was for you that sparked interest in this?
Um, I have a boyfriend. We're pretty serious,
Hmm.
but we have a lot of downfalls, and I just it's at that point where I'm just not sure if it's
Yeah.
good or bad.
Definitely, definitely. All right, and so let me ask you a little bit about this, Jennifer. Like, how long have you two been together? How did the relationship kind of start, and where are you guys now? Tell me a little bit about that.
We met through mutual friends. We've been together for about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
We're pretty serious. We don't live together, which I think might be a downfall, but
Hmm.
it's just a point in both our lives where a move for either one of us is kind of impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, and so because you said a move is kind of impossible, I'm taking it that there's kind of a geographic distance between you two.
An hour, yeah.
Oh wow, that's got to be difficult. But I'll tell you a little bit as far as what I'm seeing, Jennifer, and I do want to let you know that I'm always as honest as I can be with my clients. So even though some of this is kind of bad news, I want you to know I'm on your team. I'm just giving you the best information I can, all right?
All right.
All right, so first things first, the connection between your energies is undeniable. You both think about each other constantly, and so I'm seeing this as being a really good foundation for the relationship. I think you two got into this for all the right reasons. I don't see any big red flags, so this is definitely a good thing. It's a good relationship. That being said, there is a lot of distance between your energies, but not just geographically. It seems like you both are such strong-willed individuals. I mean, you've got an entire life, and he's got an entirely separate one. And when
We
you
are,
two,
yes.
yeah, and when you two come together, it's fantastic. It's really, really good. And but when it's bad, it's really bad, and it leaves both of you feeling relatively lonely. Before I go any further, is that accurate? Would you say that that's kind of on, or would you say it's kind of off?
That's spot. It's absolutely spot on. When we're good, we're great, and when we're bad, it's like really low.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So here's what I'm seeing as we sit, Jennifer, and the reason that I say it that way is this can change if you decide to make a change. If you don't, it's going to stay on this path. So as we sit currently, I do see this relationship as continuing. I don't see it as changing much, okay? I don't see it as getting much better. I also don't see it as getting much worse. There will be times like trips and things like that where you two will have really, really awesome, time together. And then there's also going to be times where you two will get into fights like cats and dogs, you know what I mean? And you'll just be at each other's throats. So
Yeah.
I am not seeing a natural change is coming forward from the relationship. However, if this is something that you would like to develop into a long-term situation, something like a proposal or a marriage or something like that, there are changes that can be done, but it's definitely not a natural part of this energy. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now let me ask you a question, Jennifer, and you feel free to say if this is too personal and you don't want to answer it, okay? But here's a question for you. If you could sort of wave a magic wand, okay, and on one side, if you wave the magic wand on one side, you two are suddenly completely together. Your lives are within 5 minutes of each other. None of the kind of current excuses that exist. You two are just madly in love, and things are awesome, right, between you two. Or
Uh-huh.
you wave the magic wand on the other side, and he is no longer a part of your life. He's not angry about it. He's not upset at all. And neither are you. And both of your lives continue on in their own directions with not an obligation in either way. Which one would you pick, Jennifer? Would you say that you'd rather be with this guy or rather be a part of him with no consequences?
I'd rather be with him.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason that I asked Jennifer, that's a great benchmark for finding love. You know what I mean? If we kind of have that magic wand scenario and we wave it and we think, boy, I'd love to be, out of this, but I don't want to upset him and I don't want to upset, our kids or our families or anything like that. If you do that, it's not a relationship based in love, and therefore it's probably going to fail. But if you wave it on the other side and you say, you know what, I really want this to work, then it will work. So honestly, it's kind of a matter of time, and it's a matter of putting a little bit more effort in. I think especially on his side, but
Yeah.
you two, you two seem to be heading in a good path. So that much is
Okay,
good. Does that
good.
kind of make sense?
It does make sense, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And so, Jennifer, by my count here, we have about 5 minutes remaining. We only used about half of our time on that. So, is there anything else that you'd kind of like to know about? Anything that maybe you were curious in, or?
Yeah, I guess the only other thing that gets me all the time is if my parents are going to be okay. My both my brother and sister recently passed away, and
Oh my
and
goodness.
my parents are in the middle of a move, and my mom's kind of sickly. I just,
Wow.
and they're 3 hours away. I just, not being near, I just want to know that maybe they'll be okay.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So from what I'm seeing, Jennifer, and I'm going to be honest with you, things could be better. Okay. I think your mom especially is going through a really difficult time right now, but I'm not seeing any big red flags in the immediate future. Like, I certainly don't think you need to start making arrangements or anything like that, but I do think it is kind of healthy and good to recognize that, these are coming up on some of their older years, and so some things are going to start to go wrong, and, some things are going to change. But I certainly don't see them as, kicking the bucket anytime soon or not
Okay,
being part of your
good.
life or anything like that. So, yeah, they're going to be good. And I see them as being a much bigger part in your life over the next 5 years than they were over the past 5 years, if that kind of makes sense.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I have a quick question for you, Jennifer. And listen, for one, please be honest with me. For another, if you don't want to talk about this, that's fine. When I look into your sort of career financial energy, I'm seeing a really strong entrepreneurial pull. Like, there was a business that you wanted to start or that you did start. Talk to me a little bit about that. What's that kind of like business owning side of Jennifer? Because that comes so strongly to me.
See, now I've never tried to start a business.
Haven't you? Okay, was there an
Uh-uh.
idea for one that maybe you passed up on?
I deal with hospice and taking care of people. That's what I've done my entire life. Maybe I've thought
Oh,
about
wow.
doing that on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, and so here's the only reason that I bring it up, Jennifer, right? And you feel free to take this or leave this, you're going to be fine either way. But when I look into your career financial energy, you have a lot more earning potential than you're kind of currently using. So maybe in the future, think about trying to demand a little bit more. You do really good work, you work really, really hard, and it seems like a lot of the times you kind of passed over for some of the advancement and stuff like that. So I would suggest over the course of the next couple of years, maybe looking towards some sort of advancement in that department. Does that kind of make sense?
My boyfriend says the exact same thing. Drills it into my head like, you can be more. You have more potential. Why are you just sitting here
Yeah.
doing nothing?
Yeah, and Jennifer, I totally get it. Taking care of people who wouldn't be able to take care of themselves is one of the most rewarding experiences in the world. And I know you have a very natural mothering energy, right? So that kind of
Yeah.
comes very instinctual to you. So
I'm such a mom.
I know, so I totally get it. But like I said, if you look towards that in the next couple of years here, you'll definitely find it. All right, darling?
Thanks, I will.
You're so welcome. All right. Well, Jennifer, that kind of concludes things on my side, and I really wanted to just thank you again for allowing me to record this and to post it on social media and, post it on YouTube, things like that. And also, of course, legally, I do have to remind you just once more that psychic readings are for entertainment purposes only, so please don't sue
Okay.
me, okay?
I won't.
All right, Jennifer, you was such a pleasure to talk to, love, and I hope to speak with
All
you again
right.
soon, all right?
All right. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
All right. Bye.